It's all about the first time that we did anything. Really, we covered a lot of shit. I guess we didn't cover everything, but we could always have other episodes where we cover the rest of our lives. We covered important parts, like the first times that we did acid. So, enjoy that.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
I think what it was is there was like a window that was open. I clicked on some website and it opened one of these side spam windows that had like 15 different Flash players in it. So it lagged out my shit. And everything looked like it was bad, but it was really good. But now everything looks a lot better, so we're back. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name's Mikey Booyah.
My name's Unknown.
And you're listening to the Natural Habitat Podcast. You know that. I don't know why I tell you that every day. I think I say it so that people that are listening in the background or might hear it bouncing off of the walls of a canyon will hear the name of the show as well as the name of the host so that they can properly Google and do an iTunes search and find us.
I know the real reason why you say it.
What is it? For
the first timers.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. I guess that's exactly why.
Which is definitely appropriate for today's episode because today's episode is the episode of the firsts.
That's right. We thought about doing an episode that was kind of more in depth and personal. So we figured that we would do our first times doing a bunch of different shit and experiencing life. We're halfway dead, so we have half a life's worth of experiences that we've lived, and I'm sure that you guys have done a lot of this shit and have your own little your little memory and your little piece of time that you keep hidden in your brain and it's in your spank bank somewhere. But we're going to pull those out and talk about them today. So
I have a unique first that we could both share with everybody.
Oh, yeah?
The first time Mr. Booyah and myself actually met was on our first episode of this show together.
That's right. I remember that episode.
Wow.
So, this is how it happened. Myself and William Waffles were doing this podcast forever, and Joey here was listening all the time, was a really big supporter, always sharing it, and he wanted to get on the show. He was like, man, let me get on the show. Let's set it up. Let's do a Skype call or do it over the phone. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll set it up. I'll figure out how to do it. And me being the stoner that I am, didn't really figure out how to do it. And, a month went by and Joey was like, hey man, let's do this. Let me get on the show. And then I was like, fine, let's do it. So we set up a day for, I believe it was myself and William Waffles, and it was going to be you joining us. And something happened and you couldn't do the call. So we did the episodes by ourselves and I was giving you a bunch of shit. And we already like created this back and forth like friendship, bullshitting with each other. And then when we finally did get together for the Skype call, it was right after William Waffles said he was leaving to go to Oregon, and his podcast will be starting soon in about a month from now. So in the end of October. And he said that he was leaving and I needed a new host, and you said, what'd you say? I don't remember.
I said, fuck yeah, son, let's do it.
You're like, I'm here all the time. I'm always free. Yeah. So
all day, every day. I'm just a lonely rapper. All I do is make music and flood the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. So you might as well flood it with the podcast.
Yep.
And and ever since we linked up together, we just blew up. We've been really busy. We're up to 3 days a week now. We're getting all these fresh interviews, and
trying to get a motherfucking scholarship.
Yeah, trying to get that damn scholarship, trying to get tax exemption for our Church of Cannabis. And
Amenibus.
We got a lot of shit going on, man. So thank you for joining me here, and I hope
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I hope you have a good time listening to me ramble about crazy shit. Oh, hi.
So all of you got to be a part of one of our firsts. So congratulations, motherfuckers.
Unless you're a first, then you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
But you can go back and listen. It's in the archive.
Well, actually, if this is your first episode, you just got to be a part of our first episode in a way because we just relived it right now.
That's right. Ooh, goddamn! I feel like this
Quantum
episode
entanglement.
This episode's gonna get really meta. I feel
super deep. So let's kick this shit off with a hashtag NHP smoke session.
All right, not yet, cause I gotta pack a fresh bowl real quick.
Oh, all right.
What are you smoking on today?
I don't know. It's called Crystal. I think they're bullshitting because I never heard of it, but it smells like the motherfucking shit. Like I bury my nose deep inside this container. Oh, it smells like God's vagina. That's what it smells like.
Very nice.
You hear when you just pop the top?
Yep.
Here, pop the top.
Fun don't stop. Don't say that Don't say that any more times, because that's copywritten. You can only say it twice.
Pop the top.
Oh,
Fun
fuck.
top.
We're getting sued again.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, so it's really good actually. The name of the dispensary is not important, but I feel like the product is, and the product is good this time. So, congrats to yourselves on that one.
Yeah, we don't give any props to anybody that doesn't give props to us. So we're not going to go out here and promote your dispensary and whatever you do with your expensive weed prices for your shit weed. It just turned out good this time, so you're lucky.
So hopefully all you out there got your bongs and joints and pipes and dab rigs and everything all ready to go so you can smoke with us.
Yep. So I hear that you have some special theme music for us today.
Yeah, I got us a good one.
All right. Hit us with the smoking music. Oh man, this is elegant.
I agree.
That was some.
It's good to switch it up sometimes.
That was some fancy ass smoking music.
And it's very appropriate as well because it's the Odd Couple, and I feel like we're sort of like the new Odd Couple. You know what I mean? Like we're both strange, we're both completely different.
Yeah.
We live in different places. We meet through the wonderful powers of the interwebs,
right? And
entangle our daily activities through the form of a podcast. So
it's crazy.
It's pretty amazing how shit works out.
Yeah, it is. This age of technology that we're in is nuts. And it wasn't like that when I was a kid. I couldn't just text you or hit you up on Messenger and then be like, hey, are you home? And then you're like, yeah. And then Skype you and then do this. I would have to, when I was a kid, I'd have to like go to your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd have to
hop on your bike and fucking get it pedal.
Yeah. And I'd go to your house and then someone would be like, yeah, he's not here. And then I'd be like, well, where'd he go? He went down to the park. So I go down to the park and I'd be like, hey, you guys see Joey? And they'd be like, he was here like a half hour ago. He left with Bobby. And then I got to go and go find Joey and Bobby. And then I find Bobby and he's like, yeah, Joey left. He tried to steal a bottle and then just ran away. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I can't call you. I can't message you. None of that.
Nope. Just got to go to the hangouts, all the spots where you think you might be at.
Yep, we're sounding old now. Like, I remember in my day.
Shit's different, you know? Like, people won't have a lot of the firsts that we have. People are going to have all new firsts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kids' first cell phone is going to be completely different than our first cell phone. Our first cell phone was fucking horrific. You know what I mean? It's like embarrassing looking back at some of the things that we used to use. Like kids' first movies, like our first movies were all VHS. You know what I mean? Our next generations, like my little brother's first movies were DVDs. The next after that, first movies are fucking MP3s or whatever, digital downloads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy, like the evolution of firsts.
Yeah, it's weird.
As well, you know?
And it's like kids will never have to adjust tracking these days and know that struggle. That's a definite struggle where you have to watch a movie with a fuzzy-ass line through it.
Yeah, and the struggle was definitely real. You felt it all the time because when you played them so much, playing VHS tapes, they just got wear and tear on them and just started to fuck up.
Yep.
And just got progressively worse all the time. It's like, and then DVDs kind of had the same problem where, like, you know, they would get scratched up and then didn't want to play all the time. So,
man, that was bullshit. Still to this day, I made the mistake of buying a DVD from 7-Eleven in the little treasure hunt DVD Blu-ray thing for like $3. For $3, I got Shutter Island, and I was like, dope, I'll do this. Go home, and I made it maybe 45 minutes in, and then it just stopped playing for the rest of the movie. And I was like, well, I've seen this part, so I'll just skip a couple sections. Nothing. Bullshit. That's why digital downloads where it's at. I steal everything from Yiffy. Yiffy hooks me up. Should I not say that? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to back up that statement. I buy everything from iTunes.
From hippies.
Yeah, from hippies. That's what I said.
Funny shit.
So, I think
people never had to deal with the fucking horrible dial-up signal.
Nope, they never did. They don't know the struggle at all. I remember sitting there and I'd be like, this is what it would be like, all right? I'm going to take you there in your mind. Just got back from school. Had to walk because I don't have a car or a fucking Segway. I don't even know what that is. All right. Anyway, I'm going to check my buddy's AOL instant messenger away messages. Let me just log on to my internet. What the fuck? Mom, is this right? Is this right? I think our computer just sent out launch codes.
Yeah.
And scene.
It sounds like a rocket ship taking off. Yeah,
that seems very excessive. And why would you need all those noises? What are they doing?
Yeah.
What is that doing?
Yep.
Did someone well, now that I think about it, I remember that noise didn't come from any sort of speakers or anything. It actually came from the modem.
The computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would if you put your ear next to it, that's where the noise was coming from. So that was an actual noise from the mechanics in there. Because I doubt they put a little speaker in there that makes noise. I don't know how it works. Someone call in and let us know how a fucking modem works back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Back to the first.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the first first that would be good to dive into is the first time you ever smoked weed. Do you remember that? Not necessarily the first time you smoked weed, but the first time that you got super high.
Well, that just happens to be the same story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me think about it. It was back in the days, back when everything was simpler times, back when it was just me and my little brothers fucking around with my little cousins at the house, not having no responsibilities in life or anything. Let's just say we were in the 4th grade.
All right.
And my mom used to smoke then. So I remember stealing roaches from her. Like, I always knew she smoked, you know, so it was never a bad thought in my mind. You know, it was never like, oh, that's a drug, or oh, that's a fucking, you shouldn't do that, or anything. Like, you know what I mean? It never even crossed my mind that it was bad for you or wrong in any sort of way. It just felt natural for me to like gravitate towards doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I took her roaches and I fucking went and smoked them and got super high. And I remember hiding it from everybody, like, cause I did it by myself. And I wouldn't tell my cousin who was my age, or like, I wouldn't tell my little brother or anybody. Like, I was really nervous because I didn't want to get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? Cause I was pretty young.
Yeah.
But, I just remember getting super high and just remember feeling like it was the shit, you know, like, I feel like that was what was missing from my life or something, you know, even at a young ass age, like super young ass age. And, I don't know. It just felt normal. It felt like, you know what I mean? I remember being super high. I remember my eyes being super red. I remember getting super munchies. I remember like having the full effects of all of it the first time.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really don't remember the first time. I want to say that I remember stealing weed and shit like from my stepdad when I was young. But I think the first time that the earliest memory that I have, I was in middle school, or maybe fifth grade, and it was me and my buddy Chris, and we bought some weed from this older kid that lived down the street. His name was JC, and he actually passed away 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. And he was the one that introduced me to a lot of shit. Like, he was, introduced me to weed. He introduced me to hip hop. He introduced me to a lot of shit and fucking drinking. And I remember we got some money from Chris's grandma, and we hit up JC and we bought a bag from him, and he gave us some little wrapped up plastic, bag just with a big ass nug in it. It was probably about 2 grams. And we went back to Chris's room and we made a pipe out of a can and we smoked all of that weed. And it was just like a heavy smoke session. We hotboxed his room and we were like bumping music. And I remember I was like laying on the ground and I was hungry, but I couldn't move. And I like you say, I felt like something was right. Like it was like a piece that I was missing. And it really is. Like, it trips me out that, there's a cannabinoid receptor in your brain that is in all primates, and fucking, it's half of a receptor and cannabis is the other half. And when they interact with each other, that opens it up. And it's literally in your brain waiting for cannabis to be introduced to your system so it could be activated. So it really is the missing piece of existence, and like, I think I felt it the first time I smoked weed, and that's why I'm still smoking weed today. 'Cause something about it completes the cycle,
Yep. I agree. So, moving right along to the next first, what if you think back was the first time you did mushrooms or acid? What was the first time you really tripped?
Oh man, let's see. That's a good one. I remember, I'll say acid. So I remember, like, I did something that was called acid when I was younger, but it wasn't really acid. And I remember it was when I was older. I was maybe 18 or 19, and my cousin got out of jail, and he met this dude in jail that lived back east somewhere, and he made acid. And he was all like, I'm going to, send you some acid when I get out in a letter. And, my cousin was just like, whatever. And it turns out that he actually sent it, and he sent an envelope that had like it was a whole sheet, so it had 100 hits of acid on it. And we got it. He like got a few. We each, took like 3 hits, I want to say. And we left Atascadero to go out to Shandon. So it's about an hour's drive. And when we were about, 20 minutes away, we were like, we could take this acid now. It's cool because it won't kick in until we get there. So we take it, and right after I'm like literally chewing on my acid and on my little paper. And I get a call from my girlfriend, and she goes, hey, you need to pick up Jack in the Box on the way home. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go to Jack in the Box drive-thru, and I'm like confident that we're going to make it. That I'm going to make it through the drive-thru and all the way home before this acid kicks in. Well, we're in the drive-thru, and of course there's a line, and the cars are moving really slow. And I don't know if it was just because I was on an empty stomach, or if it was just really good acid, but this shit kicked in like within 15 minutes of us taking it. Because we were like playing music and all singing and shit and laughing in the car, and we realized that we were starting to trip. And then somehow, miraculously, we made it all the way out to the house. And I was not interested in the Jack in the Box at that point, because I don't really like to put food in my mouth, like when I'm on any sort of psychedelics. So I fucking, so we like went back into the room, and I remember picking up a speaker and holding it on my shoulder and just leaning over everybody. And it was me, Derek, and Milkweed, my old homie Milkweed. And I was shooting music out of this speaker like a bazooka. And then we made one of the first podcasts ever. I think it might have been one of the first podcasts. And we recorded a 4-hour long chunk of us high on acid doing a radio show, where we didn't really play any music. We just talked the whole time. And then I listened to it a couple days later, and it was us talking about how we were live on the radio and how what we were saying, we're saying it right now, and you're hearing it right now. And we were like, this is live. We're live. For 4 hours we did this. It was ridiculous. And then every time we would take a break to go outside and smoke, we would say all kinds of funny shit that was supposed to be on it. And then we would go back inside and get all nervous and not be able to say anything. So that was a really good memory that I had on acid.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did mushrooms. It was definitely intense. I was like in high school still, and me and 2 of my friends it was me and David Coy and Paul May, and we were up at Paul's house, and we ate the mushrooms. We ate like an 1/8 each, and then we went for a walk to like get our trip going. And it was up by like Centennial, so we were like walking around the neighborhoods and shit, getting our trip going, and like 20 minutes later, we're on the way back to the house, and I just get this smile from like ear to ear, like the biggest smile ever. And I like couldn't stop smiling, and I'm like walking around with my hand over my mouth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I felt like, oh, everybody could see me smiling like a dummy.
Man, that's the best smile.
And I said something to my homies about it, and I was like, dude, I can't stop smiling. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, and I kept thinking about that Ludacris video back in the day where he had this like half a monkey mask that he was wearing in a video, and I was like, dude, I need that mask from that Ludacris video right now. And I was like, because I can't stop smiling, I need to cover that shit up. And it was like, and I realized I was starting to trip, and then we got back to the house. and we were like tripping on everything. It was so much fun. I remember we go out on the back patio or like on the back porch, and you could see over the park, and there was people out there like playing tennis, and they would hit the tennis ball, and we would watch the tennis ball just go up and just keep going up, and it would like never come back down. And like I was tripping on so much shit. We were watching we watched How High with Method Man and Redman. And I think that was the first time we ever seen the movie. And so it like fucked the movie up for us permanently. Like I still watch that movie and feel like that wasn't the movie that I watched, you know what I mean? Like it was like a completely different movie to me. I was like, no, there's no way. Like sounds would like speed up and slow down and warp and like you know what I mean? Like all the sounds that you'd hear, and like I was tripping on my friends that weren't tripping because it was like listening to them talk and stuff was fucking with me, and I was just like laughing at everybody, and I was like, I don't know, it was super fun, man. Such a fun experience.
Hell yeah, good times. I've had lots of fun, smiling, positive times on mushrooms and acid. I think that they're both wonderful drugs that people should try at least once in your life, you know. You don't have to, just because you do, you know, mushrooms or acid doesn't mean you have to do them all the time or be some sort of like hippie about it. Just try it and open your mind. I think everybody should do it once. And I think that everybody should do DMT, which is a first that I have yet to experience.
Yeah, I haven't done either. I haven't done acid either. No, that's why. Nah, I just don't fuck with like the chemicals. You know what I mean? Like I just don't trust it. I know acid can fuck you up, but mushrooms really can't. You know what I mean? It's more natural, so that's why. I don't know, but I think I would do DMT for sure. Yeah,
if you get someone that knows what they're doing. And
my brother did it though and said that he never felt anything.
Really?
So yeah, so I don't know what to think about it. Like I don't know if it like affects everybody or what the deal is with it, but I know a lot of people swear by it and say that it's like life changing or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think the trip is on you. You know what I mean? Like if you go into it with a good state of mind and you understand that
exactly
you're tripping, then you're gonna be completely fine. You know, like there's no way for you to have a bad trip unless you forget that you're tripping. You know what I mean? Once you cross the line and you can't tell the difference, and mentally, that's when you're fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like
anything weird or uncomfortable or scary is all because you're on mind-altering hallucinogenic drugs. Yeah. So that's why. You know? So if you go, oh man, like you start feeling all bummed about something, you go, oh wait, that's right. I'm on mind-altering hallucinogenic drugs. Just relax and everything will be fine. I've had a couple bad trips, but I think bad trips are good for you, you know?
Yeah, but the only bad trip I've had was like...
But not bad, like not running down the street.
Not even a bad trip. Yeah, like no, like that's what I mean. Like the only bad trip I had was fucking because there's people around me having a bad trip, and they were like trying to suck me into it and shit. Yeah. And I was like, I would be like not letting it fuck with me though. I'd be like, dude, you're tripping, bro. Like you're hella tripping. You know what I mean? I'm fine. I feel good as fuck. I don't know what you're tripping on. You know what I mean? But snap out of it.
Yeah, I got this friend that whenever we do mushrooms together, she always talks about how we're all gonna die. And it's like, why? Why do you want to do that right now? Like I'm aware of that. I'm perfectly aware that none of us are immortal and we're all going to die very soon. But why do you have to talk about that right now when I'm like trying to zen out and shit?
Yeah. I feel like you have to do it once in your life.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, then you're going to regret it because it's that powerful. You know what I mean? Like it really is life changing. You know, like you never look at things quite the same ever again after mushrooms because you're like, wow, there's a whole nother world out there.
Yeah.
That you get to kind of explore a little bit just from altering your state of mind, you know, and you're perfectly normal while it's happening too, you know. It's like you're fine. You're just seeing and hearing things. That's it. You know, it's like you don't feel, your body doesn't feel any different, you know, like you still feel normal. You only get nauseous in the beginning, you know what I mean? So it's like
I think that I think that the biggest thing with mushrooms, especially, because with acid, you know, I trusted this guy that I never met that someone was in prison with. I guess I probably shouldn't have, but the acid turned out to be good. But the actual compound of LSD is gone. It's, nobody knows it. Timothy Leary died with it, so nobody can recreate it. There's just people trying to recreate it and get as close as they can to it, but the actual chemical compound is gone. So, with mushrooms, I think that, so with acid, you really never know what you're going to get. So you have to be careful with that shit. Just like, people that do cocaine and then accidentally get meth because they're not careful with it and they don't know what they're looking for.
Or don't know the difference.
Yeah, don't know the difference. So, mushrooms is the way to go because it's natural, but also know your mushrooms because a lot of them will kill you. So, there's always like this state of mind that you get in when you're on psychedelics where you feel like you understand, everything, but you can't put it into words, but it's like a feeling and you're like, okay, I get it. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be and everything feels right and everything's all connected and you see how everything's one and how we should all work together. And then the next day after a mushroom trip, you're like super positive. You're like, oh man, like fucking just all like top of the world. And then after a few days, you fade back into your normal ways and your normal way of living. But I think having had that experience, you can always tap into it. Like you always have the ability to tap into that feeling of wholeness and oneness with everything and, kind of use that in your life without doing mushrooms over and over again. You could just kind of revisit that space because there's a lot of things that remind me of that feeling I got when I was on mushrooms, but I'm not on mushrooms. It could be a song or, fucking a drawing or some art or some shit. And it'll make me feel like at peace. And I relate it to a mushroom trip. So I think that's the best thing that we take out of it is, it kind of like knocks down your ego a little bit and just makes you more chill and accepted, like more accepting of life and just an all around kind of better person, I think. Do mushrooms, you'll become a better person. That's the words of Mikey Booyah. Did you hear that? I fucking said that for real. I can't believe it. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess.
And that's how the cookie crumbles. So, do you remember? Do you remember the first time that you when you started rapping? When you started, maybe the first time that you actually made a song and recorded it and put it down, started making tracks.
Yep.
Well, tell us about it.
I don't know about making tracks because that was like in high school sometime is when I first started recording shit. But the first time I knew that I was gonna rap was like in a talent show all the way back in like 4th grade. Also, we went on this overnight camping trip to this local camp where kids go for school and they'd go stay for 3 days and there'd be all these things they had to do, like talent shows and like all these other workshops and things while you're there at the camp. And in the talent show, one of the things to do was we were making a rap, me and some of the other kids, and I remember writing it and performing it. Yeah. In 4th grade, and then knowing that, like, ever since then, that's really what I wanted to do. Like, it already had affected me to be like, that's what I wanted to do in a talent show at that young of an age. So it's like, that was already prevalent and like in my mind all the time, you know what I mean? Like, growing up on music that I had no business listening to in the first place because nobody else in my family really listen to rap or anything even close to that, you know? Like, everybody in my family, like, listen to country music and shit, you know? Like, they're all rednecks and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, or like old rock or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, definitely not R&B or hip-hop or any type of rap or anything like that. So all that was, like, on my own, you know? Like, I just gravitated to that shit myself, and it just had an effect on me to where, like, I just had that natural rhythm or whatever it is inside that just would allow me to, like, formulate those type of thoughts, like freestyle thoughts in my mind or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that eventually evolved into, like, actual freestyling and then fucking rapping and then getting serious and making songs and doing shit like that. Really, like, all I ever did was freestyle for years and years and years. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about recording songs. I just wanted to be able to show up and rap better than you. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I cared about. You know,
right.
Like, fuck it. You know? But, yeah, that's definitely my earliest, fondest rap memory.
Yeah, I know that my earliest memories of rap and hip hop ever was from my sister, because when I was a kid and my sister would, you know, like, take care of me and watch me and shit, and I remember always driving around in her car, and I'd be in the back seat, and she would just be playing all kinds of hardcore hip hop that I had no business listening to, and that, you know, got me into it in an early age. You know, I fucking would get down to it. I still remember there was a song that was like, fucking God, I'm trying to remember how it goes. It was something about Hillary Clinton, something. She was licking on my dick like a corn on the cob, and I thought it was funny. And like fucking, that, you know, went into, I started like writing. It was kind of raps and then kind of poetry in a way. I would just write rhymes, and they really weren't to a beat. And it was like really dark and like weird shit when I was a kid. Like, looking back at it, I'm surprised I'm not a serial killer. And I would just write all this weird shit. And then eventually I met some homies that were in like a rap group, and we all got together, and they asked if I, you know, wrote and rapped and shit. And I was like, yeah, you know, I got a couple things here and there. And I started writing shit to their beats, and they had their own group. It was called Wicked Warrior. No, it wasn't. It was something else, but I forget. They fucking, they had this one track they wanted me to get on, and I got on it. And like, when I wrote and recorded that to a beat, that's when I knew that that's what I wanted to do. You know, that it was fun. It gave me, you know, I was proud of it when I heard it. I thought it was super fresh. And looking back at it, it was the worst thing that I ever did in my life. But, you know, it was, it's been progression since then. And so, you know, I'd like to thank my sister for getting me into it early and, you know, kind of sparking my curiosity in hip hop, because here I am today, a multi-million selling platinum album artist. I don't even know if those words go together like that. That didn't sound right.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to the big sis.
Yep. Her name's Heather.
That's pretty cool.
And she listens. She fucking, she's always supported me through everything. Like, every endeavor that I've been through, she's always been cheering me on. She always listened to all my music. She always fucking, you know, she definitely supports me 1,000%. So thank you, and I love you. If you're out there listening.
All right. I know that we've told everybody before that we don't drink, but we probably both have a first time that we've gotten drunk.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of our listeners drink. So let's travel back to our fondest first memory of getting drunk.
So, I'm gonna have to think about it. Do you remember yours? You go first.
Yeah, I do. I remember. I think I was like 13 or something, and my little brother was like 10, and we were with our homie Greg, and we always used to like run the streets. You know what I mean? Like we could pretty much do whatever we wanted because my mom would work during the day. So like nobody was around to tell us what to do type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we would like basically run around and do whatever we want to, but we were always like doing kid shit, you know, like we'd be out like riding bikes or like doing kid shit, you know. And then one day we just had my homie Greg's uncle buy us some beers and we got drunk off of malt liquor.
Man.
We bought some 32 ounces King Cobras and some Old English, like 40-ounce Old English. And we drank those and got fucking hammered. And I remember all of us getting super faded. And like my brother got all sick. And we were like all passed out drunk in the middle of the day and shit, young ass kids. And then had to like sober up and snap out of it before fucking 6 o'clock at night in the evening when my mom would get off work and be on her way home and shit.
Yeah, man, those are good times.
Malt liquor.
Yeah, that's a bad way to start. Let's talk about starting off the wrong foot. That's no good.
Yeah.
I remember now that the first time that I got really drunk was with my homie JC that I was talking about, and he lived down the street from my grandma's house, and I would always get dropped off from, like, the bus would drop me off after school at like 4, and my mom would work until, you know, late. So I would have a few hours to just kind of run around in the neighborhood with the kids and shit. So JC came over and he had a bottle of Southern Comfort, a fifth, and we went underneath the bridge down in the riverbed. And between me, JC, and Chris, we all killed that fifth of Southern Comfort. And then we all signed it and then like hid it up in the shit, like up in the rafters. It was all like fucking Stand By Me style, like a movie and shit. And I remember I was feeling fine. I would just, you know, I was pretty hammered, but I was all right. And then once I got back into my grandma's house, it hit me and I threw up all over the kitchen. And I couldn't even like play it off like I was sick because I threw up like Southern Comfort all over the kitchen. It was just liquid alcohol with chunks in it. And, you know, a lot of my drinking memories are not fond. I don't really like, you know, feeling sick. I don't like throwing up. Even if I have the flu, I don't throw up unless it's like necessary. I'll hold it back forever, even though I know I'll feel better after I throw up. So, you know, I think that's why I don't drink.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't, but still fond memories.
Yeah. So, what about your first kiss? Huh? Joey? What about that? You remember that?
Yeah. Y'all are gonna be disappointed at this one because
my story is sad.
Mine was just not impressive. Not like it was just a normal scenario, just hanging out with a girl after school that I liked and kissed her. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a boring, lame ass fucking story. And it didn't ever feel important either. You know what I mean? Like, it never felt like, oh, that was like, you know, like they portrayed it in movies, like, oh, it was always such a big deal and everything. Like, it never felt like that to me. It was just like kind of a letdown, honestly.
Okay, well then what about the first kiss that you remember? That was built up. or that was just like super crazy?
There was none. That's my point.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's never like interacting with girls has never been like something that made me nervous or like was a big deal. You know what I mean? Like it's just felt like natural to me.
You're saying there's never been like a girl that you've been like, man, you know, that girl's hot, and then after you know a while, you finally get to kiss her, and you know do whatever. Then you're like, man, that was fresh. That's never happened. You just automatically go in and you slay
like
the
that,
ladies.
but it's not like that. I don't have that anticipation or like that. You know that I think some people get that comes along with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like,
see, that's why
I'm not trying to downplay it or anything. I just mean like, it to me, for some reason, that's never been like a focal point of like, I base my likes in another person off like interests, like similarities and things like that. So like, I feel like I get that type of feeling off when I find out that they like the same thing as me, you know, or something like that, opposed to like a first kiss or something like that, because I don't know.
See, that's why we're the odd couple, because I was always super nervous with girls and with kisses and shit. And I remember when I was in like second grade, there was this girl that was like some little rich popular girl, as popular as you could be in second grade. And I was like the poor kid that wore like hand-me-down clothes from my cousins and shit. And fucking, she kissed me behind like some fucking thing, but said that I couldn't tell anybody that she kissed me, and then that she would kiss me more. And then I was like, okay, cool, I won't tell anybody. And then we would make out every once in a while after school, and fucking, I was like her little poor boyfriend that she would hide from everybody. It was cool. And she was like, I don't want to conform to my daddy's ways and marry the rich man.
That's funny.
And then I remember there was this bitch in church that I used to fucking have to go to like youth group and all kinds of shit, and fucking when I was a kid. And my grandma's really religious. Love you, Grandma. I'm sorry. I love youth group, and I loved all those times that I spent in church. And you know, one of the biggest memories that I have of youth group is there was this chick that was like older than everyone and super hot and super slutty. And one day we were like all doing something, and we snuck off into some other section of the church, and she fucking like we made out hardcore, and she like fucking was all like biting me and like grabbing my dick, and I had never like done shit like that before. So I was like, whoa, okay, and fucking all like weird. So like I remember that, and I see this girl, and she's like some homeless like crackhead that walks around town and, you know, like yells at people, yells obscenities, and has a bunch of scabs all over her face. So, you know,
it's crazy. I'm
not going to say her name, even though I doubt she has the capability to listen to podcasts. But, you know, it's weird. I see her and I'm just like, whoa, like, what the fuck happened to you? It's because God is real, and she was a sexual deviant in the house of God, so she's being punished.
All right.
No,
Amenibus.
That's hardcore. Amenibus, I guess.
On that note, we should take a smoke break.
Yeah. So
hashtag NHP smoke sesh.
That's right. Everybody take your pictures of you doing illegal substances and hashtag them NHP smoke sesh for everyone to see and rate.
And we will find them and we will repost them on our page.
Very true. Or you could just email them to naturalhabitatpodcast@gmail.com, and then we'll edit out your face and any sort of incriminating tattoos you might have.
Unless it's a dick pic, and then we will definitely put it on the internet.
Yes, we definitely will. So everybody get your pipes and your bongs ready. They should be sitting next to you. There they are. I don't know where your lighter is. Find it.
Found it.
Got it. Let's go. I rest easy knowing that any tumors that I might have are being battled right now by the marijuana I'm smoking. Amen to this.
Amen to this.
If I blow smoke into my mic screen, it gets filled with smoke and then looks like it's on fire for about 30 seconds. That's something I just found out while I was high and playing with my microphone when I should be being a professional and recording a podcast. That's all right. Everyone that's listening is high, or if you're at work and you can't get high, I'm sorry. We're getting high for you. So we'll let you know that it's good.
I got some interesting first. It's a zombie first.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's people eat brains for the first time.
Like for real life? Eat real brains?
Yeah.
No, the eyeball is still in.
I've had face before.
They had a chef cook up lamb brains.
I was thinking this is going to be way more grotesque.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Some citrus.
Let's just rip the band-aid off.
So mushy.
It tastes like meat replacement, like tofu.
I don't know, but I like that sauce.
Sure, I'll get, me dame 3 tacos de lengua and then brains. You know what I mean? Like, I would totally do that.
Sauteed brains. This looks like brain.
This is what they would, an artisan brains crostini. Oh, yeah. This is like a Brooklyn snack.
Ooh, it's slimy. Oh. But yeah, this is good. I'm gonna. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, the texture is still.
Sorry.
It's a little like soft, but damn, on this toast.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Anything fried, you're covering and hiding something. Clearly. Oh, it's so squishy. I can take this off. What is this? Is that a? Looks like a radish.
This is my favorite one so far, I think.
It's delicious.
No, I hate it.
I think it's delicious.
It's like a cherry tomato, but made out of brains.
Brain masala. Oh, wow. Right. Just like Grandma used to make.
Yeah. No, yours looks like something.
No, like I just fed this to my cats last night.
This one makes me feel like I'm going to have a tummy ache soon.
No, I mean, I get that.
Honest?
Oh. The flavor is good, but it's just like.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, that.
I don't know, it's like scrambled eggs that used to think things.
Under the condition of you can't tell me what it is. Just tell me that it's a taco, and I'll eat it. Mm-hmm. And never tell me that it's a brain ever again.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, yes, I would.
You already eat brains again.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I think I would maybe even have seconds.
I wouldn't eat that again. I think there's some of those I would definitely eat again. The taco really wasn't bad.
Brains. Eat brains.
Yep. I would, I guess I'd try it. You know?
I would.
Yeah, why not? If I had someone prepare it for me that knew what they were doing, I could make it bomb instead of just some guy fry some brains.
Hashtag Yogle. You only get one life.
That's right. Speaking of, we have a, we have a little shop going. You could find the links to it on our Facebook page, the Natural Habitat Podcast Facebook page, or, other social media sites that we have, but I'm going to lay it on you right now. It's hard to remember, so write it down. shop.spreadshirt.com/naturalhabitat. So we have a few new shirts up there, as well as one that is a hashtag Yogle shirt that I love. It's my favorite one.
Nice. Yogle.
Yep. You only get one life, so eat some brains. So I have another one here. I've become more peaceful and kind of, Buddhist in a way over the past few years, and kind of trying to work with everyone and treat everyone like they're myself in a different life. But as a child, I was not that way whatsoever. So when was the first time that you got into a fight?
Let me see. Yeah, I'm traveling all the way back to 8th grade. I'm gonna say 8th grade was like, I had been in fights before that, but childish fights that I wouldn't consider like real fights. And then in the 8th grade, there was this dude that was fucking with this other dude on crutches. And, it bothered me, like, so kind of like defending him, I guess. I got into a fight with that dude. And, it was like a funny fight because we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, but, it was right there in front of everybody at school. And everybody just kind of like surrounded us and just like kind of watched the fight happen. And then, after the fight was over, we kind of just like walked apart, and then they like swarmed us and like took us to the office or whatever, and then they made us like sit in the same room together and and wait to be told that we're getting suspended and all that shit. But yeah, it was. I'll say that was like probably the first real fight.
Not bad, not bad. Stuck up for that cripple kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was, I don't know why it bothered me too. It's just like, I knew he couldn't defend himself. I knew that there's nothing he could do. And I was like, what a fucking dick picking on a dude with crutches. And the kid was bigger than both of us. You know what I mean? But it still was like, don't fuck with the kid on crutches. Wait till he's not hurt and then fuck with him.
Right?
Type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But whatever.
I wonder where that guy's at today, the crutches guy. I hope his legs are all right.
Yeah. He's good.
He's good. So, I think that the first fight that comes to my mind is was out there by my grandma's house. A lot of shit happened. A lot of firsts out there. And there was these new kids that moved into the neighborhood. They moved in across the street, and they were called the McKinleys. Well, that was their last name. We didn't just call them that. That was their name. And they it was brothers. It was 3 brothers and a sister. And they all came down to the bus stop for the first day that they moved in to go to school, and fucking they all had Godzilla t-shirts and Godzilla lunchboxes and Godzilla trapper keepers. So that will time this story. Whenever Godzilla came out with Matthew Broderick. So
I don't know.
Yeah. And is that the guy, Matthew Broderick? The guy who played Inspector Gadget? And Ferris Bueller? So,
yep.
So that was then. And I remember I came out one day to go see what was up with all the neighborhood kids. And Mitchell, the oldest brother, was out there like mean mugging me for some reason. And so Chris came over, the neighbor kid, and he was like, hey man, Mitchell's mad at you because you made fun of all of their Godzilla shirts. Oh wait, no, I said that the youngest brother and the sister were fucking because they were like really close. You know what I mean? They were like, he was like real protective of her and shit. And she was like some tomboy chick that would like fight everybody. So I like started some rumor, not even, I just said like they're probably fucking. And then it got back to Mitchell, and Mitchell got pissed. And he was like, we're going to fight. And he was like, come over to my house. So I was like, what the fuck? So I got to go over to these hillbillies' house. They were from like fucking Carolina or some shit. So, so me and Chris go over there, and it's like Mitchell and Justin and the fucking little brother Matthew and the sister, they're all out in the barn. And it's like this big ass barn with a dirt floor, all kinds of old trash and shit, and like old cars in there. So it's like fucking, it looks like a stage that you would select in a fighting game. Like if you were playing, you know, Justice League, you go through and it would be like old barn, and it just has all kinds of cool shit that you could like fight with. So we go in there, and he's all pissed off and like rips his shirt off. So me and him fight, we square up, and we start like throwing hooks on each other. Like we both decide to go for the hook and just go strong hook. and don't throw any other punches but hooks the whole fight. So this whole fight, nothing but hooks. I'm going to let you know. At the end, there's no change. Nothing happens that changes it up. It's hooks the whole time, okay? So I throw a right hook on his face. He throws a right hook on my face. And this continues for what felt like an hour. But we punched each other at least 15 times each. Really, really fucking hard. In the face. Really fast. Like in succession. Nobody fell. Nobody stopped. We ended up getting tired and like missing each other's faces. And then Chris came and broke us up. And it was actually a pretty brutal fight for some kids. Both of our faces were fucked up. But I just remember it didn't feel like his punches were that hard. And it didn't feel like I was hitting him that hard because we were both children. So I was like fucking like we were kind of old, but you know, I didn't have any weight behind it. And we just kind of tagged each other's faces 30 times each. And then we hugged it out at the end, and everything was fine.
Nice.
Those are the best fights. The best fights is when everyone could walk away.
I just got word from the executives that was 1998.
1998.
That's when that movie was.
So I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
All right.
12-year-old Mikey.
The terrorizer.
Mm-hmm. Just throwing hooks, throwing right hooks. If you ever fought me, just make sure that you watch your face for the right hooks, because that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm glad that I moved away from an aggressive lifestyle.
Let's take a second to try to think about what type of firsts people are going to have in the future.
Oh, shit. Future firsts?
Yeah, future first.
Shit. The first time you fly a car, the first time you get your first drone, first time you transport. Yeah, the first time. First crash on your hoverboard. Yeah.
First accident from fucking robots.
First time your toaster turns against you? Is that what you're getting at?
No, like first time you're fucking a robot and it like traps your dick inside of it or something. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Yeah, it's already happening. People are trying to make sex bots already. What else? What else can be a future first?
The first time you accidentally change races?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing? Could be.
It could be.
You never know.
Yeah. What else? There's going to be a lot of weird firsts in the future.
Yeah.
First man-robot marriage, probably.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
There's this is just imagination time. That's what it is.
First circus with humans as the animal attraction.
and animals running the show.
Yeah, and robots just all sitting in the stands and shit.
Ah.
What else?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of crazy firsts.
If anybody out there is an artist or a painter, I want you to paint that for us. I want you to paint a circus scene where all of the attractions are like people, and then the ringmaster is some sort of animal, like a monkey or a lion or some shit, and everyone in the stands are all robots. And if you make that for us, then we will give you eternal props and shout outs on the show, and also showcase your art whenever we do live podcasts in the future.
Also, we're gonna do a giveaway this episode.
That's right.
We wanna hear your most embarrassing first, and you guys, after you get this episode, send us your most embarrassing first, either via Twitter or Facebook, and we'll be deciding, and then on a upcoming Throwback Thursday, we're gonna do 80s TV episode, and we'll announce the winner on the 80s TV episode, and we'll be giving away this cool Knight Rider wallet that I got because it's a throwback theme. So
Dope.
it says chicks dig my car and my car digs chicks, and it shows fucking Knight Rider with David Hasselhoff on the wallet, and it's pretty cool.
That's dope. So we'll post a picture of that, and you can have your chance to win it. All you got to do is send us your story on Facebook, Twitter. The Twitter is at NH Podcast Live. The Facebook is Natural Habitat Podcast. Just, comment it in one of the feeds or make a post about it, or email us at naturalhabitatpodcast@gmail.com, or comment on the SoundCloud file and, let us know what your, an embarrassing or funny. It doesn't have to be, super embarrassing. You don't have to put yourself out there, but it has to be a funny, slightly embarrassing, the more embarrassing the better, story.
Yeah. And then if you're able, we'll call you up and we'll have you tell your story.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yep. We could do that for sure. And you could be on the podcast live talking about the first time that you did blank. So let us know what it is. Hit us up now. So that was it. That was the first time that I ever did a podcast about the first time I did things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's always a first time for everything.
That's right. So make sure that that whatever you do, you stay out there in the world experiencing first, because you could do something new every day. Every day you could do something for the first time. So that's what that's what we're here to do, is live. So live your life.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.